Friendship supreme. Friendship supreme. Finding the geek within.
Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Michael.
This is Cleve.
And this is Friendship Supreme. And we're the podcast that dares to ask, is Captain Marvel really ready for Thanos?
You tell me in the comments below. Before we dig into Captain Marvel, I would like to address the Endgame trailer.
Yes. For those of you who have not seen it yet, you were part of the 50% that got snapped.
Yeah, that's the right response. Yeah. I'm glad you made it, man. I'm glad that you made it, and then how would Stephanie be holding the camera?
Yeah.
Well, I guess the tripod. She really could have not made it. I don't know.
I think you've improved our lives, Stephanie.
Obviously.
We're glad you made it to the snap, too.
So, in the trailer, new stuff a little bit. Like, 2 new scenes. You know what I like most about these Marvel trailers is that they've given us nothing.
Which I appreciate.
But at the same time, I want more. So much more immediately. That I have no idea what they're doing. I don't know what their plan is. All I know is they found Ant-Man.
And interestingly, Disney's strategy on this most of the time, if not all the time, is they only use like the first 15 minutes for all their trailers.
Which is so confusing because the scene where they are walking in their spacesuits. I don't know if
do we call them spacesuits though?
Quantum suits? We put quantum in front of everything.
We do put quantum in front of everything.
Nebula and Stark are there. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yes.
So, if that's the first 15 minutes, we've solved Tony's near-death experience immediately.
I think we're going to solve it really quickly. I think that's literally going to be spoiler. I think Captain Marvel will be like, she'll be like, oh man, here's this guy.
Again.
Oh man, here's this guy.
I felt good.
But yeah, I think she'll just drag him by the collar and bring him on home. I genuinely just think it's like a grab you by the collar, yank you back.
I'll reference something in the movie, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
Hawkeye training his daughter, maybe?
Yeah. And a lot of people have pointed out the fact that he looks a lot like when he did Wazoot Ronin. Mm-hmm. So that's that.
I thought it might have been a reference to Catherine Bishop, which is like the new girl Hawkeye, female Hawkeye.
Comedian? That's DC.
I think she goes by Hawkeye.
Yeah, I was thinking DC. Sorry.
Yeah, but
my bad.
I don't know. I don't know if it's just his daughter. I don't think in the comics the female Hawkeye is his daughter. It's just a younger girl. So they could just be playing with it because they take liberties with what they want while still staying true to the comics. That
being said, I mean, we've talked before just personally, and we will talk with you guys now about how it very much seems that Marvel is smart about their timeline. Like, they know what they're doing. They have everything planned out, and they very much seem to want to introduce a new cast. We've run out younger cast. We've run out of contracts. People are saying that this is my final film. That we've got to put people into place to take over. Hence why we have someone like Spider-Man coming in.
Who's done besides Chris?
Both Chris's are done, I believe.
I thought Hemsworth said he wanted to come back. Oh, too bad we don't have somebody to look into that.
Tony Stark. I want to say Tony Stark, Thor, and Captain America. All 3 were talking about being done.
I think that Robert Downey Jr. will do it until you stop paying him to do it.
Possibly.
You know what I mean? I think it might be more of a sports team. Like, man, I really want you on the team, but you cost me so much money, I can't afford to keep you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they're an insane amount of money at this point. That's what they make. We joke about They joke about how Robert Downey Jr. made more than all of them put together for a while, and I think they're finally up.
And he just gets this green screen suit thing where you look at his face up close, and there's a black background, which is like the in-helmet shot.
For the longest time, he was the Will Smith to the genie, the Will Smith genie to their franchise. But it very well could be them setting up for a young Avengers, essentially. Just maybe not necessarily all the young Avengers we know, but new ones.
Yeah. Maybe. I kind of liked the red, white, and black scenes that they had. Flashing back to Thor and first Iron Man and Captain America, the first Avengers, yeah. You know, in the quantum suits, we don't see Thor, we don't see Hulk, we don't see Captain Marvel. So if she's there, she didn't ride with them.
They'd be on a different team,
on their new path.
A different team doing something different.
Yeah, they could break out. I don't know. Looks
Did
interesting.
we talk about how the quantum suits look identical to, or pretty darn close to Ant-Man's suit?
Yeah, and that's what kind of pushes towards quantum when you
Right.
said not space. That's the only other thing I can think of.
Yeah, more of possibly traveling into the quantum realm, and
Yeah.
Which you're not supposed to do.
Chris Hemsworth is just unknown. He was going to stop playing, and then he's like, but I like the new character, I'm renewing it. And so
I think he didn't dig the hair for a while. And then they made him cut that. So, who knows? Oh, wait.
it feels like they're reinventing the character more often. But his contract is almost up soon.
So Chris Hemsworth was done, but he's being drawn back in. So Chris Hemsworth going to come back, possibly being drawn back in with the tantalizing short hair and big axe thing that he's got now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Valkyrie inspired him to come back.
Inspired.
Winky, winky.
But yeah, so that's kind of what I got from the film. I mean, obviously, really inspirational. They're really good at setting the tone. Their new hashtag, whatever it takes. So I think that a lot of... I think anybody out there that's taken the ride along with Marvel and has been invested at this point, be ready to either shed some tears, be angry, but something emotional will be happening, so prepare yourself.
More than taking out more than half of an entire universe built.
They screwed up. Yeah, granted, I saw people in the theater we were in. People were bawling their eyes out,
Tears, full tears,
like just walking out like they'd lost a best friend. But that being
part of us did.
That being said, I think that they messed up when they originally released like the idea. Okay, we're gonna have these Avenger movie come out, and it's gonna be a two-parter, and then they're like, oh, it's not really a two-parter. I think they said that it was not a two-parter too late in the game. Like, you already knew, oh, there's going to be another one coming out, so it's really not a big deal.
But even so, like, it still felt like it could have been wrapped up in that movie as you're watching it.
True.
Also, having said that, how can you trust anything about this Endgame trailer? You know what I mean? Because you fool me once, shame on you. But I distinctly remember a scene in Wakanda where the Hulk was running, and there was no Hulk in the entire film, let alone a Funko Pop put out of the Hulk busting out of the Hulkbuster, which also didn't take place.
Never took place.
So, who knows if anything we saw is going to be used?
Very true. They don't necessarily have to stick to it. And a lot of film studios are known for not necessarily including everything that they had in their trailers.
Yeah, remember the scene where they looked over and it was all the Guardians, and then in the actual movie there was like 2 or 3 of them in there. They're really good about taking things in and out. It's impressive. So we'll see.
They're good at their secrets.
They're good at their secrets. One secret that they did let out, though, the comic book What If series, they're bringing into their Disney streaming thing. What's it called?
Disney Plus.
Okay.
Is it animated or is it going to be live action?
It will be animated. I don't think we can afford to keep paying all these people. I would appreciate if they voiced them, but I doubt they're going to do it. And some people's voices might not do well on the...
But they usually do a
animated
pretty
world.
good job of finding someone that's close enough in the voice.
Yeah. What If Mutants were part of the world. I also think, what if Quicksilver survived Age of Ultron?
Does Hawkeye have to have died in that scenario?
I'm okay with it.
Did you switch life for life, or do you? It's just a. He somehow lived.
One life's not more important than the other, says Captain America.
He's not wrong.
Some lives.
In your personal opinion, yes, but I don't think on a large scale. But that being said,
I'm kind of curious if they're going to bring Quicksilver back anyway with the
possibility
Fox purchase.
Yeah.
Because they have a Quicksilver who does pretty well. He's not my favorite, but he does well. What if, because there's a comic series, what if Quicksilver got the Infinity Gauntlet?
It'd be cool if they could bring Quicksilver into it.
Yeah.
I know Fox was talking about it for a while, and then...
Yeah, they keep flirting with the movie.
I think once Disney bought them, it was squashed and said it's not going to happen.
But the director that said he wanted to do it was still like, I'm in. If you guys are in, let me know. Just
Disney,
call me.
please make that happen, because we would appreciate a Quicksilver film. If I had to think of a what if, my what if would be, what if Captain America didn't get frozen? Like, what if he never, even if he crashed, I'm okay with him crashing, but let's say he crashed and then just stayed alive at that point.
And just had to tough it out in the wilderness?
Yeah, like I imagine he'd survive and get back to civilization, but I mean more of just, like, what if he was able to make his date? Like, he lived his life in the 50s and 60s, and then by the 80s, when Nick Fury's starting to come around, he's like this old man and...
Feeble?
Yeah.
What if Bucky and Cap switch places?
God, Bucky would be a terrible Captain America. I know he took the mantle for a while, but...
I mean, without the Super Soldier Serum, Steve Rogers would make a terrible Bucky.
Steve Rogers wouldn't have made it into the military.
He still got there.
He only got in because of the cheating, and then he would have died. Like, okay, he would have been in there, but he would have
cheat.
died. Yeah, he did.
The guy liked him or something like that, and he called him in.
No, he cheated to get in.
Nah.
Yeah,
Does it sound like Captain America to cheat to get in?
Before, he had the serum, and he got all...
No, he was always himself, and that's why they chose him.
Well, they chose him because he was smart and not stupid, and really small, and could prove a big point by getting big.
We forced that. So you gonna knit that on a pillow, or? I didn't like any of it.
Well, that would be my what if. So, what if Shuri was the Black Panther instead of T'Challa?
I don't know if we're supposed to be drinking this while we shoot, but I'm doing it.
That's fine.
I would be okay with that. What if Black Panther was never found, or T'Challa was never found, and they had to... What if M'Baku was Black Panther?
Man, M'Baku is the real Black Panther anyway?
Wakanda forever.
Ever. Yeah, no, M'Baku is my true Black Panther. Because he had the power, and he had the rights to it, and then kindly was like, let me take care of the people.
It was a real Captain America moment.
It was.
Because Captain America would never cheat.
It's true. Any other what ifs that you guys can think of? Let us know either in the comments down below, or you can also write to us at our email address.
Or just text me.
Please don't just text us. I get charged by the text message.
Michael has 2 phones. One for his personal life and one that everyone can reach him at. And I'll give you that number in the comments below.
I'm scared because he might actually do it. Not that I don't want you guys to have my phone number, but,
You don't want a whole bunch of people on your phone.
All right. And then the next thing I'd want to get into is... There's still some in there.
Coca-Cola.
We literally went to just go see Captain Marvel an hour ago.
Yeah,
Give or take, and have not spoken about anything. So I'm real curious on your thoughts. I write mine down because I have so many.
It was really awkward because we got out of the film and
said nothing.
The people that were with us were like, what'd you think of the movie? We both looked at each other and was like, see you at my house, bye.
Yep.
So
Have a good one.
we saved all of this for you guys. There's a little Carol Danvers right there.
Wee, wee. All right.
Okay. I felt like I was in the movie for a second.
I relived the scene.
So since you've written everything down, why don't you tell me some of your thoughts?
No, man. I want to hear you just spurt it off, and then I'll add on if I got anything.
So
Just, if
we're gonna try to give a non-spoiler review first,
and then we'll do spoilers at the end.
which is really difficult. So,
Yeah, at that point, really, it's just what do you?
honestly, I'm just gonna tell you. The next probably 5-10 minutes is gonna be the non-spoiler part. The rest is all gonna be spoilers because I can't contain it. So I would tell you initially just my reaction from seeing it. I will see it again. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. Special effects were really nice. It was pretty visually. Had a good cadence of story. There was a little kind of, I wouldn't say, kind of a lull for like probably a half hour in. I felt like, okay, there's some stuff that was dragging on a little bit. But other than that, I think it progressed really well. I think Brie Larson did a really good job. I think all of the cast did a good job. It was weird seeing Jude Law because I've seen Jude Law recently in Fantastic Beasts, so it was weird to see him in a. Oh God, I almost knocked over Sherry. It was weird to see him in a different role. But other than that, I thought it was a really good film. Anybody out there that hasn't seen it yet, please go see it. Captain Marvel is kind of DC or Marvel's champion of women currently. I mean, they have really strong women characters, as you can see actually in front of us. We chose a couple of our favorite strong female characters in the Marvel Universe. Hopefully Squirrel Girl someday gets her own movie. Shout out to Squirrel Girl. Woo! But I think this is the first one to get her own individual title, and so it's a pretty big deal for that particular cinematic universe.
I believe it deserves to be seen. Like, you definitely need to see it. Will I go see it a second time? Probably not.
No?
I don't know if I didn't just buy Brie Larson. She kind of has this thing throughout the whole movie where she goes like a... That's like her thing. When it's like supposed to be like a cut at like some kind of comedy in there. Or anytime she looks at something, squint. Not that it ruins the movie at all. It's just a little thing that I noticed that I was like, I just kept seeing it. Samuel L. Jackson was good. It was nice to see Agent Coulson again. I feel like at some points they tried too hard for the girl power thing instead of just letting it be the movie that it was. I'll challenge you on this, and I prepared. On this paper, I have every individual Marvel movie that's come out. Except for the Avengers, because I feel like it's not fair to put one person against the entire team. Except for Guardians, because they come as a package. I mean, there's not really... Anyway, there's no Star-Lord film or Groot film. Although I would watch an entire Groot film.
If everybody liked the Groot comic...
Yeah, if they just only said I am Groot the entire time, I'd watch it.
Rockin' the Raccoon has a comic book series, and there's one episode, or one particular issue that is just from the view of Groot, and everything says I am
He's
Groot.
telling like some kids a story around a campfire. Hilarious.
It's brilliant.
Drawn by Scott Young. But here's a list of the movies. That way you can look at them visually. And kind of put the right order or whatever. Because I was writing them as I saw them. And I was like, I know them well enough. So I started filling it out. Where would you put Captain Marvel in the pack?
I don't understand the question.
Okay.
We're talking like rank wise?
Yeah.
Or are we talking like
if I had you put a number next to all the movies, what's your favorite, second favorite, third favorite, all the way down?
I'd say...
Did you see Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say top 5.
Top 5?
Yeah. If we're not getting Avengers films, yeah.
Who's in the top 5 for you?
I would say Captain America 1,
Okay.
Thor Ragnarok,
Okay.
Guardians of the Galaxy 1,
Mm-hmm.
Iron Man 1 just because the nostalgia to it.
Okay.
And then,
Captain Marvel.
yeah, I would say Captain Marvel.
So Captain Marvel, you think was better than Black Panther?
Oh, man.
See what I mean?
But see, I'd rather almost replace Iron Man with Black Panther. Because Iron Man's in there simply because that was the first film I remember watching from the Marvel Cinematic Universe where I was like, oh my god, things are going to happen someday.
Would you put it above Doctor Strange?
Yes.
Okay.
Easily. Doctor Strange was one of my least favorite of the Marvel Universe
So
far.
would you put them above the other two Captain Americas? Winter Soldier and Civil
Winter
War?
Soldier was boring to me, so yes.
It's funny because Winter Soldier is people's most favorite.
And I could
So it's
see that.
funny that you, being more Captain America driven, like that one out of the three the least,
Yeah.
is kind of funny. I mean,
Civil
not that
War
any
I
of them were
liked,
bad.
but Civil War I liked, but I would tell you I'd put Captain Marvel, right? Yeah.
It's interesting because I would put her over Thor 2, but Thor 2 was basically trash.
Not good.
Iron Man 2 and 3, but
2 was trash.
also kind of trash.
3 was... Oh, no, 3... yeah.
I might put her... I struggle putting her above Ant-Man. Because
I'm curious why you hated it so much.
I didn't hate it.
It feels like you did.
I just...
Are you putting Hulk over it now?
You know what it is? I didn't leave the movie going, wow, that was...
Man, we had two wildly different experiences.
When I left Wonder Woman...
This does not happen often, guys. Most of the time, we're in sync.
When I left Wonder Woman, I remember feeling inspired by watching Wonder Woman. I didn't feel inspired watching this.
Okay, so I didn't feel... Are you saying inspired as in, like, as a comic book fan? Or are you saying inspired as in, like, let's promote feminism? Because I will tell you, I felt two different ways about that. So...
Does it go into the spoiler world? Because mine does.
Part of it does.
Okay, then we'll hold on to that.
Yeah.
I enjoy a strong female character. I just said I super enjoyed Wonder Woman. Besides the fact that DC is all garbage. I mean, I would put it up there with the Christopher Nolan Batmans easily.
Oh, yeah.
But this one, I'd never had an... Oh, my God. Like... There were scenes that were very inspiring. There were scenes that were very good. I don't know if she...
I don't know if I can do this anymore.
outplayed everyone else. I just don't.
I'll play.
She is above Hulk.
Thank God. Thank you for being so generous and putting her above Ed Norton.
I wouldn't put her above Guardians 1 or 2.
I didn't put her above 1. I did put her above 2.
I wouldn't put her above any of the Captain Americas. She beat out Strange to me. But you didn't like Strange as much. See, I didn't mind Doctor Strange. I put her above Ant-Man and Wasp because that was just a filler movie to me than anything. I wouldn't put her above Spider-Man. Tom Holland.
Over Homecoming?
Yeah.
I would, but I've seen Spider-Man the movie 1,700 times.
Which one?
Just different versions. Right.
This was not the same one.
It was the same thing.
Oh yeah?
It was
where
the same thing.
where was Uncle Ben?
Right. Thank God that Marvel spared us having to see the same scene for the 100th time. Except for they did include part of it in the animation. I'm just saying.
Holland is the only Spider-Man to give him a New York accent. That small detail alone makes it better.
Here's why. Because he's the only Spider-Man so far that is an American.
So that it's harder for an American to get a New York accent?
Because the American already has an American accent and is already going with that.
Dumb.
Tom Holland is like, I speak British and sound...
He could have done just an American accent.
I can say it, dumb. And he then channeled his acting ability to say, I'm going to sound like a West Side Story New Yorker.
Hugh Jackman didn't say, I'm going to make myself sound
Yes.
Canadian. He just went with American.
We're at 11 minutes.
He could have just went with American accent. He did.
But here's the thing: is the Canadian accent's pretty darn close, depending on the region in Canada that you're from, is pretty darn close to someone in the U.S. Could be similar
and
to
New York's not?
No, not if you can distinguish the difference between a New Yorker and anywhere else. There's only a couple like very stereotypical accents that America has, because there's 50 states. Only like 3 of them are really encompassed in like accents.
What you're telling
like
me
the
is
Wisconsin region that's got that really weird accent. You got New York, who sounds like a bunch of mobsters, I guess, and you got the South.
what you're telling me is that the other actors just didn't want to do the effort for it.
Sort of.
Yeah, I feel like the rest of them just didn't put forth the effort. He could have gave just a regular American accent. He chose to give it, and it's not thick. I don't know if you noticed that. It's
I
not.
don't know that I even noticed it in the first place, but you're bringing it up. But yeah, I mean, it has to be there because you're not usually wrong about weird stuff like that.
And that's my point too, is that it wasn't like a super in your face. Hey, what you doing? Like accent. It was like just a couple words here and there.
Yeah, see, I don't think that matters. Maybe that's scripting. We've talked about this before, that I think that, unfortunately, a lot of places get screwed in the scripting. Maybe it was specifically scripted. Hey, you guys.
Well, I mean, I can't tell because Andrew Garfield barely talked when he wasn't Spider-Man.
Those were rough. The Andrew Garfield ones were rough to me. Maybe because Jamie Foxx was in it, but
Yeah,
really
I definitely laughed more in Spider-Man than Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
And that's about all I can say without going into spoiler stuff. But yeah, I mean, I don't put her at the bottom. I think she's in the middle of all the solo movies that have come out.
Middle's nice, I guess.
I mean, out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. To be 9 out of 18 is not terrible.
I mean, still an F.
She's in the top 10.
Do you think it's because... Do you think she didn't have as much of an impact as Wonder Woman did because there are so many quality releases in the Marvel Universe?
That makes
like
it tougher.
Comparison-wise?
That makes it tougher. But when I put Wonder Woman next to Captain Marvel, I put one over the other immediately. And I think...
I would tell you they were pretty evenly matched.
Yeah.
I liked Wonder Woman a lot too, though, but I liked both of these films a lot.
I can tell because you're ready to fight over it.
I am. I'm gonna beat up Glee right now.
I mean, it won't change that movie. It's just how I feel. It's my life. And I get to live it.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and jump into spoilers, I guess. This is a really good time to remind you guys, if you are watching us on YouTube, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. They're this way. I think no. Over here. And I'll make a bubble up here. If you're listening to us, make sure to subscribe so you get our episodes every Wednesday. And hopefully we'll start popping out some little surprise episodes here and there. And that should have been enough time to let you change or stop this. If you have not seen Captain Marvel yet, we are going to now have a no holds bar conversation.
But make sure to come back
Yes, after you've
and
seen
listen to our spoiler part so that you can really know
How
my
wrong
feelings
Cleve is.
and why I feel this way.
about how wrong Cleve is.
It's worth knowing because my opinion is pretty solid.
Cleve was basically wrong.
Michael watched Spider-Man 3 and loved it.
Hold on a second. I didn't love it.
And Catwoman
What is it? And I hated Catwoman.
with Halle Berry.
I hated Catwoman. What I said about Spider-Man 3 was it felt more like a comic book than the rest of the Spider-Man.
Nobody chooses out of all 3
It wasn't like it was
Tobey
saying,
Maguire movies. Nobody picks 3.
I don't like Spider-Man as a character.
Right. See, there we go, everybody. That's why. This is it right here.
The one with Venom?
What did you say?
The one with Venom.
The one with Venom.
Oh, you're talking about Spider-Man 3. Yes, it felt.
Everybody loved 2. Everybody respected 1. Everyone
All I
hated
said
3.
was that Spider-Man 3 felt more like a comic book than the other 2 films did.
Rank 1, 2, and 3 in order.
1, 2, 3. Because as it was progressing, I hated him more and more.
You said, I like Spider-Man 3
I
more
don't
than
hate
2.
it like... No, I don't hate... Okay, so yeah, 1, 3, 2, sure. I don't hate...
I thought you liked 3 more than 1 because you said it was more like a comic book.
No. I did say that 3 is more like a comic book than any of the other ones. I'm telling you, I don't like Spider-Man as a character in the first
Struggle, my friend. Struggle. Don't choose your words unless you mean
I
them.
don't like Spider-Man in the first place. The first Spider-Man film I've seen that I've actually enjoyed is the animated one.
It was really good.
It was really good. Maybe we'll talk about that in another episode.
We need to talk about that in every episode.
Anyways, all this... You've had enough time. If you don't want spoilers, you're in the spoiler zone. Spoiler zone!
Done. If I've stopped moving, that means you're in the spoiler zone. Can't believe how wrong you are about all this stuff.
Why am I even here? So now that we're in the spoiler zone, let me know how you really feel, I guess, since you've already torn this movie apart.
It was too preachy girl power thing.
Okay, I agree. 100% I felt like that part of it is forced. And I removed myself from that. Because I agree with that.
But how can you remove yourself from it if that's the movie?
No, because I agree. It was like the difference in the comic and the movie. And I know whenever we talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we try not to get into that because there's a lot of creative differences. But Marvel being a girl was weird.
I didn't mind that. That's not even what I'm talking about.
It was weird to me. Secondly, what was weird to me was that she was not good enough to be a pilot, and that she couldn't fly fighter jets. And
I didn't mind that part.
In the comic books, she was the best.
Yeah.
It was very much like a, oh my god, you're amazing.
Well, I'm trying to think to myself what time was this happening, because I don't know really if when the first female pilot fought like a
I'm less worried about time continuity and more worried about,
Well, because I'm saying that might have been something that
I guess
they dealt with at that time. I'm not going to disclude that. I was more like, here's the part where they lost me the most. Do you remember the fight scene where she was fighting all the Kree? And they started playing No Doubt, Just a Girl? Worst song choice for that scene whatsoever.
Okay. But I think it went the opposite way of being like pro women. It was like I'm just a girl, and like I don't.
Well, to me, it was like there was no fear to me that she was going to lose that fight immediately. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I think that through the entire film, I don't think there was ever like a there was up until she then went Super Saiyan. And then it was like, okay, why are we even? Yeah, there's no threat here. But maybe it was to build up the staircase of, look, I'm gonna fight Thanos eventually. I have to prove that I can eat planets and shit out Cheerios. Eat planets and crap out Cheerios.
All right.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't. The soundtrack, I was told by many people that I would be super pumped about the soundtrack, and I don't know that I was.
No.
You tried real hard to be Guardians of the Galaxy on that one by like... Oh,
but in the 90s?
Yeah.
Like 90s, like all the choices. And they just... I get it. We did a bunch of songs with strong female singers. I completely get it. However, I think that it wasn't necessary. I didn't see a movie about I think that's why I didn't like it that much. I didn't see a movie about a superhero. I got a background story with a bunch of grunge female singers. Like, it just... Because don't get me wrong, the whole, you can't be a fighter pilot, and the montage of getting back up every time she fell, I thought was great.
Yeah, that was inspirational.
It just...
They got me in the feels. That's what I'm saying. Like I thought that it had your typical recipe for a quality Marvel film. I mean, it had all the things you'd expect from every other Marvel film.
It checked all the boxes.
I thought that it was great to see. When I was talking about Jude Law being weird to see him, honestly, it was because I was about to slip up and say it's weird to see him as a bad guy, because it was really weird to see Jude Law as a bad guy. But I thought that the entire Kree hit squad, essentially, I thought they were all really cool.
The Kree, yeah.
I enjoyed the guy that is that supposed to be the same guy that's in Guardians of the Galaxy in the
beginning?
I
was going to ask you about that also,
because he was pretty close. I didn't know if it was the same actor or not.
I want to say it's the exact same guy. Right. I can look here in a second, but
that's fine. I was pretty confident that's who that was, which kind of made it cool.
But I don't know if he plays the same character. That I also question. He looks exactly like him.
He does.
I want to say I'm 99% sure that's him.
And it would make sense, because if you think
the black guy with the
white beard thing or blue
goatee thing,
which would make sense because we saw Ronan as well, and he's kind of aged and changed a little bit, so it's possible that the same guy just aged and changed a little bit, and they run in the same crowds. And he was searching for Ronan, so that would make sense because they're both working for the Kree at the time. I enjoyed the whole Kree hit squad. I thought they were all great characters. So I'll tell you, the only problem in the entire film that I had was the Skrull. I didn't enjoy that we painted the Skrull as like these innocent victims that have never done anything.
That I just assumed was the liberty, because, and here's the reason why I accepted it so well. When you make this Kree hit squad that you're calling, when you see them talking to Ronan, you basically have to immediately accept that they're the bad guys. Like, you can't get around that.
Yes and no. I think you could have said that.
It was interesting, that twist. I feel like it was wasted, and I can get into more of that in a minute, but say what you're... going into it, and my wife was with us when we went, and so she has a basic understanding, but not a complete understanding. But we talked about... Lockheed just took a tumble. That's all, man. I wasn't going to acknowledge it. Keep going.
Poor guy. R.I.P. Looking at when we get into any movie about outer space at this point, we start getting kind of, okay, well, who are these people? Well, what was those people again? So we have, right now we have the Chimera, we have the Kree, we have the Skrull, the Asgardians. Do we have any other really that have come out? The Ice Giants.
Whatever Korg was. Whatever.
But we haven't seen them as like a people though. Okay. So
yeah, you do. They're in the first or second Thor. In the beginning where he takes the hammer.
You're right. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. That's like a race.
So you start seeing them. The more humanoid that they look, the more confused you get with them. But your Kree. You talk about the Kree, and so you have people like Ronan, and God, what was her name? I really liked her name in the film, the shooter. I can't remember her name, but I really liked it, whatever it was when I was saying it. But you had these blue-skinned individuals that are Kree, and then you also had Jude Law, who didn't have any makeup on at all and was Kree.
There was a couple of them that were
just
like
humanoid,
that too.
like very pale skin, or even the black guy Kree? Was. Yondu is not Kree. He's something else.
He's also blue. That's racist.
I don't think he's Kree.
Could be.
But so you get kind of confused, I guess. But we essentially had, that's what was confusing to me. So the Skrull, I guess the whole point in the movie is supposed to say that maybe there's two sides to a war. Maybe there's these two people are fighting a war, but it may not always mean that.
Can you even get to that path to girl power? Can you get to that like lesson learned, or are you girl power?
No, I got that. No, I got the whole. It was the same Black Panther message. This guy's a bad guy, but is he a bad guy? Because he's just trying to. But
that one wasn't black.
No, it was. There was a little.
I mean, they were in Africa. It had to be black, but
right. But so it was kind of there. But the same thing with. I mean,
the Black Panther movie could have been any other race, and it would have still been the same movie. It could have been Hispanics. It could have been Japanese, Chinese. It would
not have the same impact, I don't think.
But I feel like change the gender of Captain Marvel, and the whole movie falls apart. You know what I mean? And that's yeah.
You mean this particular movie, or you mean the whole storyline?
This movie. We're judging. We're reviewing this movie. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
take yourself apart. Like
obviously,
you
if they just played "I'm Just a Girl" and there's, Dwayne The Rock Johnson fighting, but I don't know. I agree. I agree.
Sorry.
I agree. But if that's what they needed for it to be an empowering film, I'm okay with it. Like, I don't mind the pro-feminism in it. There were parts that I thought that they changed that I was like, well, this is dumb that we changed it, and that's why those were the problems I had in the like, there was no need to make certain changes, and it just made for a better story, and that's why they made those changes, and I get it. So I've put myself aside on that one. But I never went through the film and watched it and was like, man, my face is being pounded with it. But maybe I wasn't paying as much attention to that part of it,
But
I guess.
you just said that's how you vote because you're talking about the cockpit thing.
Yeah, no, I hated that. That's what I'm saying, and I don't agree with that change. However, it wouldn't have made a better story. I mean, like, obviously this made a better story that she was told no, she couldn't do it, and all these her co-pilots were like, no, you're not a guy, so you can't fly. Obviously, that made it a better story that she then was like, I can. So I get why they did it. I just didn't think it was necessary. I love the feel of this book again.
Yeah, and even when her friend was like, "You've been the strongest woman I've ever known my entire life before you had powers."
Yeah.
Another. I'm just gonna move on to the next topic. The scroll twist. First of all, the scroll. How do you feel about the makeup and the face and all that?
I just thought they looked pretty good.
It was a little thick, but I didn't mind it. But it was you know how sometimes it's like, oh, there's an alien, and they kind of just painted their face. I could not recognize a single person.
No, because I knew I could recognize features. The voice of the main scroll Talos, but I still until I see I can see his face, but looked at it and was like, no, this is not the same. So, guy.
Which makes it good and you're really failing with that. Which looked good and too much to me at the same. It looked good and was kind of thick at the same time. I didn't mind it though. That did not deter the movie from me whatsoever.
No, I actually really liked the way they did it. I liked the transformation, how it looked when they were transforming. Enjoyed the little bit of humor. At one point, they changed it to the same person, and he was like, "No, this one's taken." It was cute. Do you watch Orville?
No.
There's a alien species in it called the Krill. That's like if you remember Star Trek, it's like the Cleon or the
gotcha.
It starts with an R. Anyway,
rectal?
Yeah, no, not rectal. Remulon. So it's like that alien species, like the bad guys of the series, but they looked a lot like the Skrull, so it was just, I don't know.
Is Remulon the thing they say after Brooklyn Nine-Nine episodes?
I think it is. Fremulon is what they say.
Okay.
So it looked similar, but at the same time, like I said, I actually really enjoyed the makeup.
I mean, and an alien at a certain point, it's just an alien.
You don't want to do so much.
Once you found out the twist and that they're the good guys, do you then immediately feel bad for
all the ones that died?
Doppelganger Coulson? That was just trying to get to Captain Marvel, and Nick Fury was like, "Take this, into the truck or the bus."
It's collateral damage, man. at that point, that was the whole point. Is war's going on, people are dying.
It's just that sucked for that guy who was probably trying to see his family up in space. But okay, so at the end, when they're having dinner together, and they're just talking and having dinner, and they're like, "Where are you gonna go?"
Talos, his wife,
the child,
and then you had Marvel, or Danvers,
Fury,
and her friend.
yeah, and her friend's daughter,
Her friend's
Monica,
Yeah.
is who I remember because of the
Yes.
necklace.
Something Rambo.
Would have been really cool for. Yeah, that's right, Rambo something.
Yeah, something
Monica's
Rambo.
daughter.
Huh?
Monica. Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
What,
Monica was the daughter, but
so if you're gonna come at us like that, you're gonna need to know your facts.
and actually
We
listen to what
said
we're saying.
Monica's the daughter.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Maria was the friend.
Then what would that have to have done with
What?
Monica being the... All right, cool, good talk. I just felt like it would have been really cool, like if he would have took the form of an actor that we've been using in the MCU and be like, oh my god, it ties back to this, and it's been there the whole time. As of right now,
Agent Hill.
okay,
Can you imagine it had been Agent Hill?
yeah, that would have been
That'd be
good.
cool. Like it's just a character that, because then it would tie into when they were driving together, and when they snapped, and then he disintegrated, and she pushed the button for the.
There we go.
Marvel, what are you doing, guys?
We can
Here you go.
I'll write it down, send it out to you. No, but I mean, I felt like the MCU didn't tie as strongly.
The scroll, yeah, no, it very much.
But neither did Doctor Strange. So I don't like tear it down for that. Like it almost was like, here's a couple of things that makes us part of the same universe, and that was that. I just feel like that was a cool missed opportunity that they could have done.
I thought you were gonna say that they should have been eating shawarma.
I'll take that too. It could have been a Fury doppelganger. You know how Fury has his like Fury bot things? Could have easily been that, and that's how Fury is everywhere all the time. You know what I mean? Like there's
It would have been a cool story.
there's
Like
missing
him and some scroll are just best friends. So
Yeah.
he's like, I've
there's
got a
just this
scroll.
missing piece that they could have easily thrown in there. I feel like they teased me with seeing Coulson, and then we didn't even really use Coulson. I miss Coulson. And now, spoiler alert, within the spoiler alert, he is dead on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, officially. Like,
That's what they say.
no more.
But Superman came back once, so
Coulson came back once. We had our turn.
Wolverine's come back like 30 times.
Well, you can't die. We can die, but it's real tricky.
It's not really death. It's just being encased in anonymity.
Or Ronan. Ronan was really, like, wasted.
I liked Ronan's character in it. I thought it was kind of a... It was nice to see him in not as much of a ruling, and much more of a I'm a soldier kind of situation.
Yeah.
I could see the missed connection with the end, with them eating dinner. That would have been kind of cool.
Yeah. To me, it felt like a weird buddy cop movie.
Between her and Nick Fury.
You know what I mean? Like, just patrolling on the streets. Like it wasn't as
I didn't get that
superhero-y.
feeling. She shot stuff out of her hand.
Besides the buddy cop feel, it didn't really, to me, have a villain.
Sure it did. Jude Law.
Was
Or
he?
Supreme Knowledge.
Because what she said was, yeah, and there was 2 scenes, and can you kill it because you don't know what it looks like? It just looks like your friend sometimes that you have dreams about. Deal with that.
She did jack it up. I'd be curious. I would like to see the aftermath of what she did, because
Yeah.
you didn't get to see it when she goes Super Saiyan 3 and grows some blue hair and then shoots out lasers out of every orifice.
Orifices.
She just shot lasers everywhere, and at that point, somehow broke out of the information supreme information
Super intelligence?
super intelligence supreme, I believe.
That feels wrong.
Once she broke out of that, what happened to that entity?
Yeah.
Like, did
Are
that
there
damage,
multiple?
Did it? No, I think they said it was only one.
I don't know.
But it's like an AI.
How do you know?
Supreme intelligence.
You can never see it. How do you know that there's only one?
Supreme intelligence.
You just know, man. You just know.
It's like the Watchers.
How do you know that the Avengers are actually going to come back from being snapped? You just know.
That one you don't, though.
They're all coming back.
I didn't like her getting her name because she never really got her name, Captain Marvel. Because was she a captain? I don't even think we addressed that.
She was not.
But when Fury's like, "Oh, okay, Marvel," and she's like, "It's Marvel," and she's like, "No, it's Marvel. It sounds better." Like that scene, I felt like could have been a bit nicer.
I mean, technically, I think the origin of the name was the fact that they couldn't pronounce Marvel, or they kept just messing up saying Marvel, so it switched to Marvel.
I would have appreciated her being like, "I'm gonna go by Captain Marvel," and then Fury been like, "Oh, okay, Captain Marvel." Like the same conversation, different delivery to it.
I think that
It was almost forced on her.
I was okay with it, and I'm
girl
okay
power.
with being forced on her because, like, in the comic book world, yes, I can be like, "You're going to call me Batman now," but in the real world, the way that things work, I can't just go up to be like you and go, "Steve, it's my name."
I mean, if you tell me it's your name, it's your name.
Wait, but you know my name. I can't just change it.
I mean, how many times did you go to a job and it's like, "What do you want to go by?"
Steve.
Then you're Steve, man. That's it. That's the end of that.
I just think that, like, if I was a vigilante, like, you're not just going to be like, yeah, that's so, like, Spider-Man was called Spider-Man because of the people. It wasn't like Spider-Man was like, "Call me Spider-Man." No,
he definitely said, "Call me Spider-Man."
I don't think so.
Yeah, no.
I don't think so.
You're falling apart
think
on
so,
your
yeah.
on your point you're making.
Captain America wasn't like, "Call me Captain America." He was Captain America for propaganda.
Right. They named him, but
Right.
he likes it.
Iron Man wasn't Iron Man because Robert Downey Jr. said, "I'm Iron Man."
he
He broke
literally
out of a
said,
prison.
"I
and
am
then
Iron Man."
Yes, he said that at the end. But when he broke out of it, he was a man in an iron suit, and they were like, "That's Iron Man."
He could. That was his opportunity to be like, "I am Titanium Man," and everybody would have addressed him as Titanium Man.
Because he's not even flying around in iron at this point.
But that's what I'm saying is he wanted.
No.
He accepted Iron Man. Captain America accepted Captain America.
Winter Soldier.
Because people call Spider-Man Spider Boy, and he goes,
Winter Soldier.
They go Spider Boy, and he's like, "Hey, my name's Spider Man."
That's just him correcting him because he doesn't want to feel like a child.
Right. So correcting someone on your name,
Right, she did. She said it's Marvel.
when someone reads your name and says, "Hey, Mikkel,"
Yeah, no, I say it's Michael. Much like when he said Marvel and she said it's Marvel.
Right,
But
and then
my point is that
after you correct that person, they then call you Michael. They don't say, "Okay, Mikkel," because that's
because the
that's
people
easy-
at work still call me Mikkel.
that's easier for me to say. So
They also can't pronounce or they can't spell my name either. No matter how many times they have to spell it, I'll have to correct them. They still get it wrong. You know why? Because people suck. There you go.
the scene could have been better.
People suck.
That's the bottom line. Is that it
The scene
could
was
have
fine.
been better.
That scene was fine. Cleve is nitpicking things, and you know what? Here's
As you
one,
do in reviews.
Here's one. Here's one scene that I did have a problem with. When the accusers were dropping bombs
Over Baghdad.
over Baghdad, when the accusers were dropping the bombs on Earth, I had a problem with the way they were stopped.
By her just catching it and
Yeah.
then throwing it back.
Her catching it and then like somehow throwing it to where they intercepted each other and then exploded a bunch. That I had a problem with.
I think she threw it
And it hit
and
another
it hit
one.
another one, and then
then
the
one.
explosions kind of ripple affected. That's the part you had a problem with?
It was dumb. She has laser eyes and literally shooting kamehas everywhere. Hadoukens. I mean...
I don't know if I enjoyed that whole space scene much at all. Because the question at the beginning of the podcast is she ready for Thanos? I don't know how you're supposed to stop her. She's energy.
Yeah, no, there's no stopping her. The way that Marvel has set her up is that she's the answer. She's the ex machina for Thanos. But I think that's what they're doing. They're doing it on purpose because they built Thanos up and they're like, ah, crap, what do? We got to kill him. And they said, okay, here's our silver bullet. Silver bullet. Go get him.
The comic figured it out without Captain Marvel.
You know, I know, but
So there's a way.
I would tell you that the comic book didn't build him up to the strength that he was because the Hulk actually stood a chance against Thanos. and then in the movies got just wrecked.
Not with all the gems.
But he shouldn't have had all the gems yet. He didn't have all of them yet.
I read Infinity Gauntlet, but he didn't. He didn't need all the gems. Here's the reason I'm okay with that fight, is because it's like Wolverine. You're just used to being able to take punishment and hurt people. But when you take someone on who's just as strong with you and is an actual fighter, you get beat down.
So
Superman the same way.
Yeah.
Batman actually knows how to fight. Superman's just used to being able to throw a punch and kill whatever he touches. So I was okay with that because it's like, okay, they're the same strength. And I think that was what they were trying to set the tone with, is they're at the same level of strength. So he only got stronger with the gems. Stones.
To touch on something you had actually said at the beginning of the episode about Brie Larson squinting, I held off to talk about it until now. I think it's her trying to deal with not remembering anything, or still being kind of like when I had 5 teeth removed and got out and was convinced that the dentist never even touched my mouth. That happened.
That was a fun day.
I made my wife call the dentist to get money back because I was convinced they didn't actually do anything.
I would accept that, except it was in random places. Like when Fury's like, "Oh, I can see that about you," and she's like, it was like her look, like her, yeah, you know it. Like anytime she'd start a fight, she'd kind of like, "Well, you want some of this?" And she'd give her a little.
Maybe her eyes were focusing, man.
I don't know, man. It was weird to see Envy Adams as Captain Marvel, anyway.
So did you not like her as an actress?
It might just be her to me. It might be just the direction they took with it. I can't pinpoint exactly what it was. The girl power thing was a flood that I'd already respected women and didn't need to deal with. But it's kind of like, did you see Solo?
No, actually, surprisingly.
So Solo was another movie good movie, but there was not that moment. Even her picking her colors.
Oh, I was just going to say, I really like that scene.
Was like a playful little...
Yeah, I like that.
But then she let the girl pick, and then she picked.
True. She did say, "Why don't you pick?" And then she said, we'll
just
do the
kidding.
same colors.
And I was waiting for some kind of like Easter egg in there. I'm pretty sure that she picked Ms. Marvel colors at one point. That was the only thing I noticed, which is also character diverse. Yeah, but you enjoyed the moment where she gave the child an option and then took it from her?
The kid was having fun with it. I don't know. That was cute.
I mean, she let her physically do it, but she was like, "You should make me this color."
Also, when did she learn how to use it?
That I was confused about. The little girl was immediately like, "I got this, guys."
And then now I'm the same color as you. Let's talk about this motorcycle pop that we made that Funko made that was a 3-second scene.
She stole the motorcycle and then we never saw it again.
I didn't even need to deal with her being on the computer. That whole part could be cut out.
It was supposed to be like, haha, this is the 90s. Remember using Alta Vista and having to search?
If anything, shouldn't she be better at it? Because she's so advanced?
Nah, it's like if we put a kid that played Fortnite on his PC his whole life but never seen a Nintendo 64 controller, you hand him a Nintendo 64 controller, he's gonna crap himself.
I've not seen the videos of people trying to use the rotary phone.
So does nobody understand their timeline unless they're in their timeline? Because I imagine that from Captain America, that you put him in front of a computer and he's like, but he was finding Netflix movies. So tell me how he can figure it out and she can't.
Siri. Anyway. Yeah, those were my thoughts. What did you think about the Flurkin?
The cat?
Yeah.
So if we only ruin Fury's eye for the joke at the end, I enjoyed the joke at the end. When he's like, I heard that, the Kree burned your eye because you wouldn't tell him where the Tesseract was. And he was like, I won't confirm nor deny that. Like, I thought that was funny. But if we did all that just to... Because obviously you're waiting for, Fury to lose his eye. Obviously. I don't know if you were, but I was like, it's coming. It's coming in this movie. I know it is. It's on its way. And then he got into that wreck, and he was like, "Oh, my eye's fine. Look, guys!" And then the cat scratched you at the end. Like, you went the whole movie, but whatever. Anyway, the cat was okay.
Yeah.
I don't know
Goose.
comic world if that makes sense. I'm assuming Goose because Top Gun.
I had to assume that was the reference there.
It was a cat. That wasn't a cat. Are there more? Are they also shapeshifters? Are all cats that thing? I didn't get any answers. It's a cat. But
And
it's not a cat.
then, how do you feel about the last scene?
The
Well, I guess it's not
The
actually.
Avengers
Technically,
scene
the Nick Fury
or
was
the-
later. The Nick Fury was the last one after the trailer.
desk.
The
Yeah. I
the Tesseract thing. I didn't need to see a cat throw up. That was stupid.
assume the Endgame was just a straight cutout of the movie. Like, you know what I mean? Like
But that's literally-
Thor. No, was it in Thor? What movie had Doctor Strange scene in it? It was Thor's movie that he went to go see Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't remember what movie teased it. Was it Doctor Strange that teased
so,
it?
yeah.
Like, I assume it's like that. Like,
Yeah, no, it's
Step,
Doctor
step.
Strange teasing Thor coming to talk to him.
I assume that is like a straight up in game scene.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. But yeah, that was our thoughts on this whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I still give it like a B plus. It just wasn't. It didn't rock the socks.
Yeah, no, I walked into it not expecting. Like, I expected to be good, but I walked out liking it more than I thought I would like it.
I've heard more people talk to me and like on that it was okay more than it was amazing. I don't know if you've just been avoiding talking to anybody.
I have, yeah. No, I haven't talked to anybody. Anybody that started even beginning to talk about it.
No, immediately people
Shut
come
up.
up and go, "Oh, have you seen it?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "Oh man, it was good." Or like, "Have you seen it?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, it was okay. It just didn't wow me.
Stephanie, any insightful thoughts on the movie coming from someone that's not as involved?
It was good.
Yeah.
I like Wonder Woman better. I mean, it was cool that she was just an Earth person,
Yeah.
a regular old girl, but they could have toned down the girl power a little bit.
With Kree blood, so, not so normal.
Well, I mean, but that happened in like her 20s.
Not true. But she wouldn't kick an alien butt.
And the
in
only reason
20.
she was able to control it so well is because she was human. Because the Kree couldn't
The
control it because of
emotions.
their emotion stuff.
Yeah.
Then I was, to me, it kind of reminded me of like Star Trek. With the
Vulcan.
yes, yeah, but I mean, I think the same thing. I don't think it. You know what? There's not an actor in there to me that I was like, man, they really nailed it. Was there anybody to you that you thought like they're?
telling you,
If it was Brie to you, that's fine. But I don't know if there was an actor because okay.
The black dude. I loved him. I don't know why. I liked him more in this than I liked him in Guardians.
Which one?
The goatee look?
The goatee guy.
That's your
He
star?
was solid, man. Dude was solid. Get him a movie now.
I'd like a.
I'll gladly watch it.
We can do the Disney Plus, and we can
Kree
put
Hit
him
Squad?
from.
That's what we'll call it.
We can put him from end of Marvel to beginning of Guardians. We can just tell that story. But yeah, okay. So for example, Spider-Man. I think that besides the fact that I'm a huge Michael Keaton fan, I feel like he played Vulture phenomenally. I don't feel like there was any actor in this movie that I was like, you know how Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark? Like, there's no question to you whatsoever. I didn't feel the connection with anyone and their
I
character.
think you just had to give Brie Larson time.
I mean, I'm sure
No,
the rest of the movies will be...
I'm just saying, I think that she will really get into the role.
And maybe she couldn't because her whole character was finding herself the whole time. That could be part of it also. But nobody really, like, embodied... She was her sassy character, and I enjoyed that, but...
Yeah.
B plus.
A. Stephanie sucks.
I was waiting for Nick Fury to lose his eye the entire time.
Thank you.
That didn't even like.
Thank you.
That didn't matter to me.
Right here, buddy.
Why does that even
I was
matter?
like,
Right
Nick
here.
Fury's got two
But
eyes.
it didn't matter. It's how. That's
Right,
what
but
matters.
why?
Because nobody knows how.
It was gonna happen.
Nobody
He had
knows
two
how.
eyes. When did he lose
I
his
genuinely like didn't care the entire time.
No, I was like,
Like they kept making reference to it, and honestly, those were the times where like, all right, yeah, I get it. It's
and you were first of all, who holds a man-eating cat right here? It was
Nick
just
Fury.
like I said, the joke of like I will not confirm nor deny. Like that was funny to me, but he could have been fighting something and accidentally got him. And then when they were like, "Oh, it's just a cat scratch," and they were like, "No, man." Like I don't even know what the thing did to make it do that. Like you know what I mean? I didn't know more about this cat.
Captain Marvel. Me, I would rate it in the top 5 of my Marvel films. Cleve, not so much. Stephanie is on the Cleve bandwagon today.
I mean, it's definitely top 10, but like I said,
Ant-Man for sure.
but like I said, there's 18 solo movies. Well, and even really, if you want to cut out some of these, Captain America: Civil War was basically an Avengers movie. Thor had Hulk in it, so if you want to count that or not, you know what I mean? Like it just.
No, I mean, yeah, if it was solo titled, then I think it'd be included. But, either way, I think we can both agree that it was a good enough film to go see.
Yes.
Definitely worth watching. I think Captain Marvel is going to be an awesome character in Endgame. I do agree that she's kind of the golden gun in this situation.
Where do you go?
Like, it's like, pew, and Thanos is gone.
Where are you supposed to go from this woman who flies through a spaceship and smashes it?
Or does this, and then just the energy from her going like this just shoots across an entire spaceship, and they're like, "Oh, we're out, bye."
Yeah, they're like, nah, not today, not today.
We'll be back later. But that is kind of actually, if you think about it now, real quick, as Ronan's leaving, he's like, "We'll be back for her." He says, "We'll be back for the weapon," but then he says, "No, the girl," and then they all leave. Does that mean we're going to see Kree in Endgame?
I mean, Ronan died.
Yes.
So he's not going to be back.
But the Kree could be.
Yeah, I think Endgame's going to have enough going on without involving Kree. maybe Captain Marvel too.
Yeah. So you heard it here from us. Yeah, go see it. Tell us what you thought in the comments below. If you have already seen it, if you haven't seen it, you should have watched this. But anyway,
you didn't hit pause. Real quick wrap up. Last thing I forgot to mention: the Stan Lee cameo. I don't know if you know why. Remember when I was telling you Kevin Smith was in tears?
It was the Mallrats.
He was meeting the Mallrats script, and that's why it touched him so much. And I thought, what a really cool thing for Kevin Smith to get. Like, he doesn't do anything for us.
Yeah, Kevin Smith was like genuinely just bawling.
He posted pictures of himself like couldn't control himself.
Cool nod to someone that has dedicated a lot of his life to comic books.
And I enjoyed that intro with the Stan Lee thing too. That was a nice.
Yeah, it was a good nod to Stan Lee. Real quick, since we brought this up, I actually liked the way that Spider-Verse did it more than anybody else because they threw Jack Kirby's name in there as well.
They did.
Because no other comic book movie has yet to appreciate the fact that there were more people than just Stan Lee.
Yeah. But
anyway,
that's all.
One up for Stan Lee.
Last thing.
Okay.
And Kirby.
I've been Michael.
I was Cleve for a little bit.
Or we could both be Scroll.
I can only change to Cleve.
That was the cat.
I figured.
That was our take on the movie.
Yep.
Let us know what you thought about the movie. Go ahead and comment down below.
You can get a hold of us on our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
He said this all so weirdly. Most of them are just Friendship Supreme, except for Twitter. It's Friendship Supreme without any eyes. Because all eyes should be on us.
And I'm not going to fight your war. I'm going to end it.
Bye.
Like now.